Hey folks, hope everybody's well. Canary Uncaged here, and today I wanted to share some of my thoughts on wellness. So what is wellness? Well, my definition is one that continues to change and evolve. There was a period where I thought that it basically meant being symptom-free and feeling good. But over time, I've realized that framing it in a different way is really helpful to me on my health journey. There was a period, I don't know, maybe 7-8 years ago where I was a lot worse off than I am now. I'm 5'8" and I weigh 150, but I was 100 pounds, skin and bones. So inflamed, it felt like my brain and nerves were on fire. And a whole bunch of cognitive symptoms, brain fog, memory issues, and I was just basically shutting down physically and emotionally. And I was also heavily addicted to cannabis at the time and just kind of didn't see a way out of the situation that I was in. And so I started educating myself on the basics of health and started making some change to my diet to kind of get down the inflammation. And I was able to get a certain level of relief to start putting a bit of weight on, but overall I still felt absolutely horrible. Now, a lot of people that are dealing with inflammatory, autoimmune, reactive conditions like I am have poor methylation, which is a sort of a poor ability to detoxify. And so I started to really lean into that, look into doing all these different various detoxes, supplements, seeing all these different doctors, both holistic and, in the Western model. And over time, I realized that if anything, I was stressing myself out, and these things that I was putting in my body were actually making things worse. It was just too much for me to handle. And I started realizing that I was mentally sort of relying on, it's going to be this doctor, it's going to be this supplement, it's going to fix me, And so after $15,000 spent, I realized I had to kind of pull back and approach this from a different perspective. And so I started recognizing that my life was having these natural sort of patterns of ups and downs. And so I started learning to sort of ride the waves and find a little bit of peace in knowing that nothing is permanent. I'm not saying that on a good day we're completely symptom free, but I am saying that, when you're in it, it's so hard, but each time you get through to the other side, you learn to navigate the difficult days or weeks with more grace and more perspective. Learning to not be so hard on ourselves is an art, but it makes getting through those periods easier. And it's important not to self-sabotage. It's all about balance. Sometimes if you got to get through a hard day, we don't have to be perfect. Maybe eat a little sugar one day, but then the next day, eat what your body really needs. And I've also found that it's really helpful not to have expectations, that they're actually the enemy of progress. First of all, we're always growing and changing, so it's impossible to go back and feel the way we once did, even though we remember the time before we were so sick. And if we're holding on to a certain image and idea of what we want our life to look like, I think we can actually be blinded to the opportunities and healing and new connections and new adventures that lie ahead of us. And I think we should always be striving to improve our physical health. But wellness doesn't necessarily mean symptom-free. It's a matter of how well you can navigate it. And so, yes, we are victims of a terrible condition, but if we hold on to that victim mentality, then we get stuck and kind of are blinded to the things that we can do. We have to focus on the things that are in our control. What can we change in our environment? Diet, what are we eating? What are we listening to? What are we watching? What types of people are we surrounding ourselves with? Basically, we have to take personal responsibility for the things that we can control and ignore the rest. And the whole paradox of it all is you'll find that you have a lot more control over your life. Once you're accepting of where you are, you can then come up with a plan to maybe not even get to where you want to be. Maybe we don't know where that is, but we can at least take the next step. But if we're not allowing ourselves to be fully immersed in the present, then it's pointless to try to go anywhere because we don't even know where we are. Perspective is also super important. Rather than focusing on the things that I don't have, I try to be grateful for the things that I do have. Even a bad day can be a blessing in disguise, even though it doesn't feel that way when we're in it. Because it can be an exercise in self-compassion and an opportunity to look at the negative thoughts and emotions that might be contributing to how we feel and reframe them. A lot of people with health issues also have some sort of underlying shame or, have been taught that they're a bad person. Maybe that's not true. Maybe we are worthy. Maybe we do deserve love. Maybe we actually have so much love that we have love to give, that we're able to help others. I'm far from where I want to be right now. My life circumstances are very difficult, and I honestly don't know what the next month is going to look like. My physical symptoms are getting worse, the reactivity, but at the same time, I feel more vital and more well than I ever have. And so I invite y'all to join me on this journey of wellness. Thank you for watching and supporting my channel. Peace. Have a nice day.